everyone, it's Pam's from the Heart, or Cards from the Heart. So today we're going to be working on another Magnolia. This one we're going to do a 3-layer Magnolia. And this is the card base I'm going to be decorating. So I started with an 8x8 card, and I cut one 8x8 and I cut one 8x8.5. I scored it on the long side on the 1/2 inch, folded it over, and that gave me an 8x8 card base. This particular card, you can layer it up however you want. I used some Chloe's Gilded Corner dies. And I don't know if this is the Gilded Corner one, but Chloe's die. And I layered it up, and I used 3mm foam tape in between each of the layers. So I've got a nice thickness there. And then I sparkled the edges of all my pieces. Let me show you how to do that if you are not familiar with that. I am going to take, it's just a scrap card, but I'm going to take this, and I'm using the Zig 2-way glue with the chisel tip. It's very important to get the chisel tip. Chloe also makes her own line of these chisel tip glues. But right now, Amazon has these on sale for 3 of them for $7.99, which is a phenomenal price. So it's a good time to stock up if you need some. So I'm just going to poke down the tip a couple times because that releases the glue into the tip. And I'm just going to put my edge on here, and I'm going to go along the edge of the card like so. You don't have to worry about a straight line because you're using the edge of the paper. And as you see, that gives you a beautiful equal gold line down the edge of your paper. This is nice if you're low on Mary card and such, and you want to give a little bit of more of a layered look by edging it with glitter. So that's what I did on all my edges around the card and around the pieces. The white, I did it just like that. Very simple. I don't know about you, but my glitter goes everywhere. Everywhere, everywhere. Okay. So let's work on the Magnolia. Now what we're going to end up with is we're going to make this. And this is white pearl card that I cut. You can use regular cardstock, use whatever you have. Whatever you have. I have made this also with my 130-pound weight card that I use for my bases. So this is what we're going to make. So what I did, the Magnolia die is both a stamp and a die. So remember in the last video, in the first video of the Magnolia series, I stamped it, and then I heat embossed it with Wow Metallic Gold Sparkle, but you can use whatever powders that you want to use. So this is what I embossed it, and I cut it out with. So I want to save us the time. If you watch the first video, you realize how to do that. So that's what we're going to do. And then you end up with this. What I do is I take my Barely Art glue, or you can use the Dries Clear Glitter Art. But for anyone who uses this, you know that if you're in an area of the country that has lower temperatures in the winter, like freezing, you can't ship this in the winter. Amazon will have it. They'll have it in stock, and they don't care. They'll ship it to you. But because it's water-based, once it's frozen and unfrozen, the glue is not to be used. So the same company, I'm told, makes the Barely Art, so I switch over to this in the winter. And if you're even if you're in a southern state, you're not sure where the original seller on the Amazon site is shipping it from. So I would just suggest avoiding this in the winter. I did buy two 16-ounce bottles, but unfortunately I went through one of them just with all the Christmas cards and shadow boxes I made. So I went through a ton of it. So I'm not going to have enough to last me through the winter. So a member of ours here at Cards from the Heart actually has a shop that sells the Barely Art. So if you're interested in getting the glue, just PM me and I will send you a link. So that you can message her if you need some. So what I'm doing is I have the fine tip on the Barely Art, and I'm just following the lines that I've already stamped. Now, if you're using a different 5-petal flower that you own, and by all means, this technique works for whatever flower you're working with, you would do the same thing. And if you just have a die and you don't have a stamp to your 5-petal flower, that's okay, because you can just hand draw these lines. You can just glue anywhere. On the last card, remember, we kind of put dots all over it. And what I forgot to do when I started this is put a pair of tweezers on it so that I don't put my fingers in the glue when I'm spinning it. So that's all I'm doing, is tracing through the lines. And then I kind of just do some V at the bottom. Sometimes foiling on different materials, sometimes they'll start to flake off, and that's why it's nice to that you can go over the areas with the glue and the glitter and nobody knows that you might have that some might have peeled. So that's all I'm doing, is spooning over quickly. The glitter I'm using is from Michael's Reflections. It's just the cheap old big container of glitter. They have it on sale quite often. And I just put one of the larger to medium-sized bottles in one of these Dollar Tree plastic containers. And the reason I have it in a larger container is when we do those edges, as you see, I put the edge of the paper in. So we're going to set this aside and let it dry. And I'm going to grab one that has already been dried. And I'm going to take anything you have. It could be a paintbrush handle. It could be a stylus handle. I'm just looking for something round and tubular. And I'm just going to put the point mid-range on the tool. And then I'm just going to round the edges over. And then I'm going to pinch that tip. That one didn't pinch very well. Let me try it again. And I'm just going to go around and pinch, around and pinch, around and pinch. I don't know if it's cold in your area today, but it's 5 degrees out there today, and it is just freezing, beyond freezing. Okay, so it'll look like this. So then I'm going to take a piece of flower foam or whatever you have that's padded and spongy, and I'm going to take a stylus, and I'm just going to push down in the middle so that it comes up some. And let me take another one here. Okay. So you can use whatever foam dots, foam tape, whatever you have. I usually use, for my card base, when I'm making my cards, I use Chloe's foam tape that is on a huge roll. But for right now, I have these dots available. These you can get anywhere. These happen to be, I think they're $4.99 for a big package of them at Hobby Lobby. So I'm going to put some hot glue in the center. And put a dot. Now, yes, people say, Pam, these dots already have adhesive on them. Yes, they do. But if you've ever not used glue on them, in time, they can kind of pop off and separate, especially if you're going to and from craft shows all the time. So we want to make sure the end user or the recipient of the card has a card that won't fall apart. So on the Magnolia, there are two that are closer together and 3 that are apart. So you're gonna have to kind of spin it around until you make sure that it kind of offsets. Okay, now what comes with the Magnolia die are 3 different stamen choices, small, medium, and large. And this is the large one because we're using the large 5-petal. Now, if you do not have the Magnolia set, PM me. I can help you locate some. I'm completely out of them. I hope to, I have another dozen of them on order, so just PM me if you would like a set and let me know. I do not sell them for profit. I just sell them at my cost. For those followers who want to, so what I'm using here is a 5mm little flat back. I happen to get these from Chloe on her clearance sale. They're the refills, but you can get them anywhere. And that's all I'm doing is I'm going to take my stylus, or my, yes, not stylus, my stamen. And I'm just going to put, I am using a inexpensive wax tip tool. I think I got this one off Temu, and it was a set of 2 with 2 replacement heads for each one. And I'm just putting a dot of glue. Now, if you want to make a card and you don't have the gemstones, what I also have done on some cards is I put a dot of glue and then I glittered and made little glitter balls. So you can use what you have, improvise for what you don't, and we're just going to add these quickly. Now, Chloe does have, I'm not sure she has it on her website right now, but she did stock the stamens. In fact, I should probably get some more in for those of you who can't find them. I can wholesale some in. And it's a style, this Magnolia does come with the 3 styluses, or it's not styluses, stamen sets. Sorry, I keep saying that. So if you happen to get the Magnolia set, you will have the size that I'm using right now. These go on fairly quickly. And like I said, if you don't have little gems, you can use, also on some of my cards, I use the little diamond art On Temu, they sell packages where they come all in these little plastic things that are cooked together, these little baggies. What I did is I just put them in little bags, but I mean, for not very much money, you can get a whole set of them like this was, and it was very inexpensive, and they're great to add for flowers. So that's what we've got. Now, I had a lot of inquiries when I put these babies online and showed you that I got a whole bunch in, and everybody wondered what they were for. I am using, let's see, the other one I used a CZ center, so a gold CZ center. So I'm going to get out a few of these. Now let me take care of these quick. Now, I just ordered the refills whenever I ordered this stuff from Chloe's because I have my own little plastic containers. I don't want to have to pay for a container to be shipped from the UK. So I have these for my jewelry, and so you can order your bling wherever it's least expensive for you. I also get bagfuls from them from Temu of assorted sizes. So now we have this. Now I want to build up the center a little bit. So I am going to add a little glue. And put another foam dot. And before I put the tools on, I'm going to turn this over. Put a dab of glue. So I'm not bending the top. I'm kind of doing this ahead. I don't know if I have it, yeah. So I'm actually going to peel this apart, and I'm going to put a double layer on. Now be careful, your glue gun can be hot. So be careful of burning yourself. So I'm going to take one of my little gems. This one happens to be just a CZ one because we're not dealing with color on this card. Oops. And I glued it to my finger instead of the card. I learned a trick from one of my followers once, or one of my friends that were over here. And you know how you get all the stringies from hot glue all over your cards? You know, the strings are like everywhere. If you take your heat tool or a hair dryer to your finished product, and just all those little will curl up and disappear. Okay, so I'm going to peel this off. Put a little dot of glue. And I'm going to take my stamen, I'm going to hold it in the center, and I'm just going to fold these up a little bit. We have our beautiful flower. I goofed again. Let me quick pull this off. I did this on the last video too. I forgot. We have our third piece on this particular, because we're doing a 3-petal. So I'm going to push it down in the center. It's glued this on first, and I apologize. I've 2 videos in a row. I get ahead of myself. Okay, so then I'm going to re-stick that. Put a drop of glue. One of my little guys got twisted when I Okay, let's try this again. One kind of came off when I ripped that apart. Okay, now we'll let that dry for a minute. So we've got 2 flowers made. Now they also have a smaller flower. Let's see if I've got, I don't have a center though for one, but do I? No. Okay, so let's worry about leaves. I'm using the Elizabeth Craft Designs, and this is part of her Bohemian collection, but the number is 2308, the Fern and Greenery. I love this set. In fact, I have it in my cart right now to order another one tomorrow, so that I can have more than one, because I die cut a lot of them. And what's nice about these, if you're cutting your paper to 8 by 8.5, you've got all that wasted strips, and that's how I cut all my greenery, is from, you know, all the little waste. So I keep them in a package, and none of my leaves that I've used for the last 6 months have all been from scrap card. So we are going to, let me show you a couple ways to, this is the fern from that set. And I'm going to show you how I, a lot of times I ink this, but because this is an all white and gold card, I didn't want green on there, so I did not ink it, but I usually do with my Catherine Pooler inks. So I'm just going to take my glue, and I'm not careful how I'm doing it. I'm just putting a little glue on each leaf quickly. Now, if you're not familiar with heat embossing, please look at the other video. It'll be an aqua card. I'll show it to you in a minute. And that goes through the steps that I did to stamp and heat emboss it. I didn't want to keep repeating the same thing on each video. I do show you some ways to do the leaves also in that video. So what I'm going to be doing is I want to glitz these up a bit. So I'm just taking my scrap paper and I'm using Wild Sparkles. And this is called Celebration. And I got this, I don't know, a couple weeks ago, and you can see I went through about a third of the container already. I've made so many leaves with it. I absolutely love it because it has some gold and silver and kind of some black in there. Kind of looks like pepper a little bit in there. You can, and it makes the leaves all nice and sparkly. So I'm going to set that to dry and pour this back in. Some other things I do with some of my leaves is I'm going to take, now this is Chloe's Sparklish Glitter. It's called Crystallina. And I'm going to do the same exact thing we just did with the other, is I'm going to do another one. Now, Chloe has a lot of her glitter on a clearance sale right now, 50% off on her website. This isn't, unfortunate, though I wish it was. This I just purchased, and I purchased the refill of 3 ounces, which is how much I have in this container right here, is 1 3-ounce bag. And in American, that's like $26, but it'll last you a very, very long time. But her other glitters, the little bottles, many of them are on sale for $4 a bottle right now for a 1/2-ounce jar. I don't have any on my desk right now, but so I'm just gonna spoon this over. Now, some people just turn it over in their glue. I do that sometimes, but sometimes when you dip, let's get a little bit more here. Sometimes when you dip it in, I don't want to make my glitter clumpy, so I would rather spoon it over. So we'll let that dry. So, I have a lot of people ask me, because in a lot of my videos or pictures, people see these trays on my desk. And I actually buy these from the Dollar Tree for $1.25. I have about, I don't know, 20 or 30 of them, because when I have friends over and I'm cutting stuff out for a project, everybody can have their trays sitting in front of them. And one thing about the Dollar Tree, one day they have it, and then the next thing you know, they stop carrying it. So if you can find them, grab them. I know they still carry these, but how long, I don't know about your store. So here I've taken what we did with the first leaf right here. So I've got some of those made. And then I took, this is a little flower or leaf of Chloe's. I don't know what I did with the packaging at the moment, but we all have several different leaves. And what I've done with this one is I just put a little glob of glue and I put it in the inexpensive, poured the inexpensive Recollections gold on it. And then these are another one of the leaves that were part of that leaf set from Elizabeth Turner. So let's do a little something on these. And then here's one of the other leaves in that set. And I just in the line in the center, I just put a little bit of glue and sparkled them. Now the leaves that come with the Magnolia, here I have heat embossed in gold and in silver, and then I colored some in with green. I'm not sure if I'm going to use these. I haven't been using them, but I made them, so maybe we'll put a couple on this project. But I really love the fern look. So we'll just take a couple of those out. And something I did, I don't know if we'll use it on this card, probably not because I have silver on here, but I could have done the same thing in gold. The Bohemian Rose that comes with, you know, the Elizabeth Taylor set, I just took some of them, and in the lines I just put a little thin line of glue and put glitter in, and we could do that as an accent flower for this also. So if we feel we need something when we're putting it together, we can do that. I can, well, it probably wouldn't look bad with some, well, let's take a few. Let's quick do, I'm looking at some of the smaller ones here. So, wish I had some more mediums. Okay, so let's quick do that. Let's accent these quickly. So I'm gonna need my gold. I hope I'm staying in camera for you here. I've ordered another stand so that my camera can go higher up, because it makes my work area larger if the camera's higher, and right now I don't have that. So what we're going to do is I'm just going to quickly take a couple of these. And I think my Dries Clear glitter glue is a little thicker than the Bear glue is kind of thinner. So let me see which one I want to use of my glues. So I'm just gonna take my pin and put it away before I lose it. So I'm just gonna put a few little lines here. I'm not being neat. I don't know if we're going to use these, but I normally do not make two of the same card. I try to keep all my cards originals for my customers. So I haven't made this up ahead of time. Whenever I do a video, I know a lot of people have the card all made and they make a duplicate, but we're kind of working on the fly here. quickly. Now what I do ahead is I cut a bunch of flowers, a bunch of leaves. When I'm cutting, I'm cutting. And sometimes people will ask me, well, Pam, how long does it take to make a card? And because I cut all the flowers first, you know, over a couple days, I can't always answer that. But I made, many of you probably saw the red and white card with the magnolias at Christmas time, and it was, you know, a lot of red sparklers and such. Unfortunately, I can't show you that card because it was given away to someone for Christmas. That one I might, because it was given to a friend of mine, I might just make a second one because it wasn't sold to anyone, and just so that I have it as an example, because it's, I don't know, it's one of my prettiest cards. We all have our favorites of what we do, and some of them you're like, some of them we're not thrilled with, but customers like them, and some of them is just our absolute favorites and we don't want to give them away. Okay, so we've made quickly a few of those, and then let's take a few of these leaves. Let me close that up. You know what, I think I want this I think I want this one a little thicker. So this is Regini Chalas. I'm sure I'm saying it wrong. The glue from India that Heartfelt used to carry. This is part of the frosting powder and the crystal. And the reason I'm pulling this up is it's got a little bit bigger chunks. And let's quick dress these leaves up. I'm going down the center of these. It has a little center line. All of us have a bunch of different leaves, I'm sure, in our stash. So whatever you have will work. I just highly recommend that one set of leaves because that fern is just phenomenal to work with. And I'm sorry if you hear a dog crying in the background. My dog's in her cage and wants out. Let's just... Okay, I'm just gonna do 3 or 4 of these quick. If I was using the silver and trying to have a nice, neat line, I would be doing this slower, but and more precise. But I'm just trying to get a little sparkle on the, whoops, I missed a couple. Okay, so we'll just add a couple of these quick, and then we will put them on our card. Now, I found that what is a little more work, but it really brings the card up, is having a lot of greenery or backgrounds by your flowers. Kind of the fuller you can make it, the better. As far as I'm concerned, you're already dealing with a 3D card that I, in another video, will show you how to make the white boxes that I put them in. It's just out of my reach here. But, you know, I make little boxes for my cards. People ask, you know, they won't fit in an envelope. So in another video, we'll show you how to make those. Whoops, I didn't glitter this one yet. Now, I want to mention this video. We have wonderful members from all over the world, and that's just so exciting. And if you're new at crafting, or you're new at something, and you can't follow along with this well enough, and you kind of need hands-on, one-on-one, I'm happy to do that. I do it for a lot of folks all the time, and I guarantee you, sometimes I'm in here 16 hours a day in my studio. So I guarantee you, I am probably up at some of the hours that you're up crafting. So we can coordinate our time zones, and I'd be happy to work one-on-one. I do it either via FaceTime or Messenger video. And I was just working with a gal in Indiana this morning, helping her make boxes for her beautiful cards that she just posted, that her and I worked on together via Messenger the other day. So I'd love to work with any of you. By all means, just ask, and it's nice to have company when I'm making something. So now we have both of these, and we have some leaves made. So let's bring this back in. I'm just gonna clean off the glue on my desk a little bit, if I can get the razor blade out. Okay, let me just, so I don't get it on the back of my card, let me just quickly, if you use a glass top surface, and these are actually, I have 3 of these art desks that I get from Hobby Lobby when they're 50% off. These desks are nice because you can create and just use a straight edge razor to, now, what I always remind people, see which way your card opens. I have made cards that unfortunately they've been upside down before. So I have the opening towards me. And what I usually do with my leaves and such is I put them all out first. And then keep putting I do not glue anything right away. So, I am going to put, I made a sentiment, happy anniversary, and I'm going to be putting that like right about there. So, in fact, let me put it on so we don't cover it. Let me put it on first. I'm going to put it on with some hot glue. This is a Anne Griffith sentiment plate that I got quite a while ago. Sometimes you can find them on alternative sites because I don't believe she carries these anymore. But I know I'm not center because I plan on putting flowers down there. So, whoops. I need to be center of the card, but not center of the height. Let me just hold that a minute till the glue tapes. Okay. So, let's figure out, let's lay this out and see what we're going to do. I think there's 2 there. It feels like there's 2 there. Yes. I piled them up while they were still wet. Hopefully I am in camera view. And I never know, I kind of move them around quite a bit while I'm working. And I try to put the leaves so that the flower doesn't take up all the leaf. So I'm just kind of angling these in the corner a little bit, and I will figure out what else I'm going to do here. So we have the leaves that came with it. I don't know if I'm going to use these again because I haven't glittered them yet. Well, we will see. Let's see, what other leaves did we do? We did some of with the white glitter. And this one's part of the stem is. And there is no right or wrong placement. It's just whatever you end up liking. So I'm just gonna put this here a minute. Got my stringies of glue. I'm going to take a few of these little Bohemian rose petals, and I don't even think they're dry yet, but mix and match what you have, ladies. If you're not a crafter that's sponsored by a particular company, use all your stash. Don't limit yourself. Okay. Let's go back here and okay, so what I'm going to do on these little flowers that the little Bohemian flowers, or, yeah, whatever flowers you have, lady, in your stash. I'm sure you have other little petals. What I'm going to do is, let's put some centers in them. Now, we could have little gold centers, or we could put CZ centers in. They're kind of a small flower. You think that size? Or do we want to go a little bigger? Now what you can also use is a flat back pearl. But right now I don't think I have any small enough. So let's take these quickly. I wanted this to be a quick video, and I'm sorry I'm taking so long here. So I'm just going to do my jewel picker. Put one of those in the center. Now, I see I picked an AB stone, which I probably should have went clear, but that's fine. The AB just kind of picks up different colors in the room. So what do I got? About 6 of these, I think you grabbed. I don't know if you have the same problem I have, but usually these end up being upside down on me when I go to pick them. Okay, 2 more quick ones, and let's get this card done for you. Now I made 5 card bases up. The panel die is one of the sets from Sentimentally Yours. And so let's bring this back. My mess. So I think I've kind of got it laid out how I want. So I'm going to just take some hot glue and start gluing down my base. Now, I used to do it the other way, and I used to put the flowers first and then put all the trim around it. But then I ran into problems where, you know, it hit the glue dot, or so now I do it this way. And I lay it out and then kind of take it back apart. So let's put a little one of these little ones here. And another white one do we have? Let's see what else I got in my arsenal over here. Now I know we glittered several of these leaves. I just don't know where they ended up in my mess here. They're probably under everything. Well, I can add them. Well, I've got a couple. I got a couple with white glitter ferns too. Oh, and then we've got, remember, we were working on these too. So those I might put in after the flowers on there. Okay, so let's, okay, let's, my internet has been spotty today, so I hate that usually when I'm working up here, I have music on going, and at night I have a TV right across from my desk here, a 60-inch. So when I'm pulling my all-nighters up here for I watch a lot of Netflix. I'm sure some of you have binge watched like I do. And when you're up here working and you see you're on the 3rd season already, when you just thought you know it's time to quit and go to bed. I have that happen a lot. So I'm going to set this down here. And let's work on this side. I actually usually put even a little more leaves in here, but we're not done yet. Okay, so put one of these little white guys. Now, I don't glue up all the leaves. I glue just on the bottom so that I can bend and form them and such for when I get ready to put them in the box. Okay, that one has 2 of those. I have 2 more though that I can use. So I am going to, I think, slide one under there. I can't wait till I get some better equipment that I can do some Facebook Lives with y'all so that you guys can help me decide where to put things on some of these tutorials. And okay, and stringies. Now I know I have this on one of those dots, so the flower is kind of like sticking up and moving, but it is stuck there. Just kind of get some little bend to the leaves. And thought I had one more. Oh, I already put it down there. Okay. And I'm going to stick this one down, and then we'll add a little more. I want to call it greenery, but it's not green, it's gold today. Okay. Now, I'm going to take I do have a couple of these that I did in the Chloe's sprinkles. So I might this is why it's kind of hard to do after. I think I'm going to add a couple the strings. Burnt my finger. Okay, now we'll add a little gold there. On top. Oops, wrong blue. So as I said, anybody who wants, you know, more some one-on-one with you working with me until I get my new equipment and get Facebook Lives working, by all means, just contact me, because I'm up here working anyways, and I would love to, I love to have the company to craft. So I just put the camera on my desktop so you can see. I kind of, it needs some more white down there, I think. And I was trying to see, now I know when we did those leaves that we made several of them, but I think I've lost them on my desk somewhere. I honestly don't know where the rest of them are. So, but this needs something I really feel down here. So let's take a few of these little flowers. I should use my tweezers so I don't hot glue my fingers again. Now I know some of you make more country. You're not in for all the glitter and stuff, and you want a simpler, more of a country card. They're amazing. All the ones that I see you guys post, they're amazing. But in all honesty, my talents are not in stamping and coloring. I'm horrible at it. So that's why I make these and not the others. And I love that you post them because I love seeing them, and my goal is someday, hopefully, that I can get better at coloring and that I can make some. But I sure love to see all of yours. I don't know what you're thinking, ladies. 1, 2, 3, 4. I got a couple left here. Shall we put one up here? The only thing I have a habit of doing is I have a beautiful background, and half the time I end up covering over it all. So if you don't have, that much of a background, layers, or you don't have those kind of dies, it really doesn't matter, because a lot of times we end up covering most of it up. And this one was a beautiful one when it started, so maybe I'll try it again next time with maybe only one flower instead of two. What do you think, ladies? Well, I've been forgetting. I have this die from Sentimentally Yours, and I got it recently. I don't know what site I got off of. I honestly don't, but it has these little curly Q things that for accents, and I just cut out a bunch of them at once. I don't take the die apart. I just kind of keep it together and cut a whole bunch of them at once. And sometimes just these little doodads add to a card. Oh, it's so quiet here today. I really wanted this to be a quick video for you, and I'm stretching it out here. I didn't mean to. So what all I'm doing is putting a little dab of glue, and so that it'll still be sticking up, but just enough to adhere it someplace. Now this card would be an excellent card for an anniversary party that you might be going to, the 30, the 40, the 50, the 25, the 60. In fact, isn't the 50 a golden anniversary? So I could add a 5 and a 0 on the bottom of this card. I am not going to today just because I want it to be available for an anniversary card. But if a customer tells me they want a 50th, this would be a good card to just add a 50 on somewhere. Now you see why I cut out the whole thing at once, because I just try to have them made up in my stash in different colors. Like I said, I kind of covered up that beautiful base, but we were working on more, not the base, but we're working on doing the flowers and the greenery today. So I hope you enjoyed this, ladies. I hope I've showed you something new. And please keep in touch, reach out if you have any questions, and you have a great rest of your day. Thank you.